It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Liteforex social trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good morning guys, 6th of November 2019, quarter past 9 AM CET, Piotr here, and we are about to cover this morning European PMI services. The first one out of Spain, 52.7, expectations 52.8, previous one 53.3. So as you can see, even services PMI in Europe is going down. Of course, the German one might be the key here, especially from overall Euro perspective, as Euro have a hard time lately. Anyway, before we start, as usual, some kind of the risk warning, guys. Please bear in mind trading effects on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors who can sustain a loss of some or all initial investment. So please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to focus mostly on the Euro crosses. The only cross here is the not related to the Euro for now, is a cable, of course. Yesterday quite positive number, so cable is holding the ground, and of course that helped to push Euro pound even lower. So we are testing some kind of the possible demand zone on the Euro pound, but overall Euro is testing supports or possible demand zones almost everywhere. Of course, with Euro dollar we are testing levels close to the FOMC and no, right now, right here, that's the FOMC, right? And that's overall zone here. It's very crucial, as you can see. So looks like 110.60 based on the daily close is going to be so important, because if we can agree that this type of the price action we've seen lately was some kind of the consolidation, and once we are going to break through the FOMC levels, we might easily test 109.60. So I'm watching very carefully the developments here on the euro dollar, some kind of the flag, but it might be the trade for the New York session, right? So in the case of the US yields continue to rise, we might see again during the US hours, we might see stronger dollar. Anyway, there is a little bit of the distance if the market is going to try to get back towards Monday low, right? It's around 11.25. I don't think we are going to get that high. I think that we are going to create some kind of the flag, and I'm going to focus on this FOMC levels over here, right? So what I would like to see on euro dollar, test on the top of that possible bear flag, invitation for sellers, going much higher, retesting, and then going lower, right? So I would like to see some kind of the manipulation here, right? So that's why I think it might still may take some time towards the US Open here on euro dollar. Euro pound, extremely important level. Based on what we have here. That's also possible demand from the daily chart. We discussed that some time ago. Where we are, was even trading upside as far as I remember. Anyway, that's crucial. Of course, in case of the positive developments, but it's hard to imagine the positive developments within the euro area for now. Looks like Lagarde wants a little bit less fiscal discipline, so that's not necessarily might be positive from the euro, at least for now. But anyway, what I would like to see here on the euro pound, of course it's challenge for the bulls, but anyway we are still above the possible demand zone. So unless we are going to get two consecutive daily close below that zone, right, I think that we are going to see more positive action from the bull side. And what I would like to see here, that would be some kind attempt to break lower, right? Meaning that we at some point we have some kind of the lower shadow. So stop hand during the day and positive close towards the end of the day, right? So some kind of the stop hand to the downside, and then reversal and strong close, move back and hold this possible demand zone. So yeah, here on the euro pound I see some kind of the light in the tunnel, so meaning that based on what we discussed on euro dollar, where I do expect some lower levels, but here there is a still chance for bulls, so meaning that the pound might be weaker. And of course all this Brexit saga with right now with the elections, well, that might weigh on the British pound. Euro also losing the ground versus Australian dollar, but here, if you remember, we were drawing some kind of the either trend line, or you can also try to create some kind of the channel here, right? And we are very close to the bottom of that channel, testing some kind of the demand as well. I've been trying to trade this Euro Aussie previous week as well, higher, right? So very, very interesting situation where we are right now. So it might be similar approach to what we discussed a second ago on Euro Pound. Attempt to break through that bottom of that channel and eventually to try to push higher. The problem here with Euro Australian dollar is the current situation on the Chinese yuan. The Chinese yuan is getting stronger, and that might support Australian dollar, guys. That might support, of course, the whole story between US and China is going on still, but what's such a smart move from the Chinese side was lately, it was extremely I got that as extremely positive. They were waiting for the President Trump to start to talk about this phase one that is so close, right? Because of course the whole White House administration looks like the only mandate for now, right now, for them is to try to hold stocks high. Of course, I'm joking. So the Chinese side, they let President Trump to talk a lot, and then they came out saying that they're not sure if it's going to be possible to have long-term deal with President Trump, and they are demanding before they will sign this first part of the agreement, the phase number one, right, that we were laughing about. They are demanding the tariffs to be rolled back. So yeah, nice story. Of course, it's a good. I'm joking, right? This uncertainty is not good, but that's the joke. All the bad information as a good reason to push stocks higher. Of course, it could be the case by the rumor sell the facts. So probably once we have such a deal in the future, that might work negative way. Anyway, of course, we know that Trump needs that deal as close to the presidential election as possible. So more turbulence ahead. Anyway, 2 minutes left, and we are awaiting. I'm sorry, I'm not fully. We are awaiting Italian PMI services within the next 15 minutes. We have 3 minutes towards 9:30, so still some time. Market is not moving much right now, right here. So yeah, we have to be patient and just watching. as we have some time, let's have a look what we have on the oil, because there is an interesting situation as well. I'm looking for a possibility to try to fade that move, but as we discussed, chances are for a little bit higher levels, so that's what I'm waiting for from the oil perspective, to hit at least levels above 58.30 based on 1-to-1 move, equal moves to the upside. So that's from my perspective, that might be the oil selling opportunity in case of retest of that levels, right? But meaning that if I do expect the prices to go higher, so maybe it's worth to watch the levels from the intraday perspective close to the weekly open, this breakout retest, and we're trying to hold some levels. So yes, I do remember about the data, and maybe from the intraday perspective, in case of some manipulation around here, there are going to be the chance to see the higher levels. But to be honest with you, I would prefer, from intraday perspective, I would prefer at least to retest this demand zone. It hasn't been retested. So yeah, some kind of the spike to the downside, that would be great here on the oil. Hi MHB, how are you doing? Because it's PMI day in Europe, right? So the Spanish number came out a little bit weaker, waiting for the Italian and then French and German, and around 10 we are going to be done for a day, hopefully. Both cable and euro trying to go higher in tandem. Yesterday we had a quite good day. MHB, really, there is no possibility for me to talk non-stop, right? So it's not the sound gone. I'm muting my microphone from time to time, so no worries about that. But anyway, thank you that you've mentioned about that. You know, it's no way to talk non-stop, right? For me. Yesterday was good. Also, I closed the Aussie dollar, the second part after the ISM in US, so was good. All right, it might be some kind of the manipulation here going on. Let's have a look. We're trying to hold the Monday low. There was an attempt to break higher, so for sure the Tokyo stops, at least some stops based on the Tokyo session, based on the Tokyo high, been taken out. But looks like, and the same was yesterday, weekly open, blue dotted line, might be the key. you know, I would have a possibility to have enough, how to say, enough health and energy to talk non-stop. But also, you know, sometimes simply market is not giving you a chance to talk about that, because market does nothing, for example, right? So then it's really hard to hard to discuss if anything is going on. There is no chance to discuss. Let me remove this visualization we have here on this euro pound. Let's switch lower. Let's have a look what they're trying to do here. There was some kind of the failure yesterday, and Monday they were trying to hold above the line based on the daily chart, but yeah, it might be the squeeze, right? It's so the possible scenario we discussed on the based on the daily chart, with this attempt to break, first attempt to break lower, for example, through those lows, rejection. Yeah, that might be in play and might be tradable. We'll see. I've mentioned that the behind the dollar strength mostly was the higher US yields, and there is a still space on tens to move towards 2%. So yeah, we might see a little bit stronger dollar. So from the euro dollar perspective, again, in my opinion, it's a like 110.60 based on a daily close, right? So we've been there yesterday towards end of the day. A little bit of the bounce is going on right now. So that might be interesting situation as well. We are going to cover live tomorrow Bank of England rate decision. Probably we are going to start something like 15 minutes ahead of the event. Slow market for now. As we still have some time, we discussed oil. Let's have a look what we have on the gold side from the gold perspective. Also huge drop yesterday, and yeah, the bulls got the hard times, and all started with this top supply zone, the blue color at the top supply zone. That's based on the weekly chart, right? So there was a few attempts on gold to try to get back and retest that high, but simply bulls were not able to do that. We are holding this supply for now around 1530. Oops, sorry. Okay. So it's gonna be very interesting if we are going to see the continuation today. That the continuation might open again 1465, and this time might be different. If we are going to break this swing low over here, finally we might go towards 1440, right? And let's assume that that's the consolidation, so break through that consolidation the same distance as the size of the consolidation, and we are immediately here. $110.36 based on the 200. As you know, I'm not using moving averages. I think that let's go back to euro in that case. I think that 1060 based on a daily close, of course, would be great to have two consecutive daily close below 1060, but it might be a little bit too late to trade then. But I think 1060 is a key, and that's what I've mentioned at the beginning. We have this type of the consolidation. In case of the breakdown, and in case market is going to be able to hold below 1060, we might make the same distance to the downside, meaning if that's the consolidation and we are going to break below 1060, we might open 960, right? 960, 940, 920. So unless we are going to get the spike to the downside down to 1040 as you wrote, with a very quick recovery, leaving the lower shadow closing above 1060, but then you need to get back above 1060 probably before any buy decision. But that's my opinion only. Okay, we have less than 2 minutes. It's my pleasure, thank you. This 200 moving average, simply moving average, maybe that would do the job if we would have clear uptrend, for example, in that case, right? But what we have? We just had a bounce and we are consolidating. So I really don't know. Once we are going through the 1060 and lower, it might be the challenge for the buyers. Well, Italy, services PMI 52.2, expectations 51, prior 51.4, so euro is trying to fly from here, but I would say mostly that's the sellers taking profit instead of the buyers buying right now. Of course, there is this 1060 is a still key, so waiting for the French one, expectations 52.9, and the German one, expectations 51.2. But it looks like only via dollar, right? Euro pound does nothing. Euro Aussie on the hourly going lower. So more like some kind of the dollar longs profit taking, intraday dollar longs profit taking after the yesterday dollar rally. But in that case, when we are talking about the yields, I think the New York session might be the key here. So we are fighting around the post FOMC low. Maybe instead of Euro Aussie, if we are going to get the positive sentiment towards Euro, Eurojpy might be the name of the game, with dollar yen testing 109, with the rising yields. I'm pretty sure the yields of the Bunds will speed up a bit in case of the good numbers. So we might see eventually Eurojpy flying high. So from intraday perspective, we have this supply here, which been tested yesterday. We have this nice trend line. Internal trend line here. Well, who knows? Who knows? Especially that we, based on the stop hunt, we had something like that. So in case of retest 120.50, maybe, who knows? France 52.9 as expected. So the German one is gonna be the key probably. And it's 5 minutes to the top top of the hour after the German number. So it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how the early candle looks like. In case of the strong German number, the retest of Monday low could be that could be the case then. So I will have to I will have to evaluate on that. I will have to update the strategy, right? Because as of now, especially I didn't expect this Italian number is gonna be that good. Two minutes, and there is a chance we are going to see some action. So a little bit, market is trying to speed it up a bit towards the high, new intraday high. 51.6 versus 51.1 expectations. On the verge of the breakdown through 50. Well, to be honest with you, no disappointments here. So I do expect that during the London session, the first half of the London session towards the New York session, probably this 110.60 will hold. So what I'm going to look for some kind of the pullback towards 1070. What was the low of that hour? Yeah, 1075. In case we are going to see this type of the pullback, right? I'm gonna to switch to smaller time frame, like 1 minute or 5 minutes, and I'm gonna to look for the buying opportunity. Simply we are holding 1060. No disappointments for now. So at least towards US session, we should have a chance to hold 1060. So of course, after such a strong move to the downside yesterday, after the initial move to the downside on Monday, I'm not gonna chase the market. I wanna see the pullback here, and as long as we hold on the closing basis, we hold this 1060, we got the chance to see a little bit higher levels. During the US session, it's gonna be yields are gonna be the name of the game. Of course, with rising US yields, the Bund's yields are gonna rise as well, and there is no disappointment from this PMI. So probably there are not gonna be huge difference. Well, that might be interesting afternoon. Yeah, we will see. So looking to buy, I'm looking to buy euro dollar on pullback. As I mentioned, as I explained, I wanna see the pullback. The first thing, I wanna see the 110.60 to hold. So I'm gonna to make it on small time frame, and guys, very low exposure. And I'm gonna to look around for Eurojpy, because if we are going to trade the yields game, so Eurojpy might be, I'm not saying it's going to happen, Eurojpy might be the better solution when we are talking about the yields. Yeah, it's MHB as we discussed in regards to this 1060. As long as we are above, there is a chance. Otherwise, it's gonna be like breakdown from the consolidation, and we might see lower levels. So no disappointments as of now. So yeah, as I mentioned as well, I'm gonna to look to buy euro on dip, but very tiny exposure, just very tiny exposure. So if I'm going to see the pullback, right? If I'm going to see the pullback, then on, let's switch lower. Let me explain you. Then, for example, on the 5-minute chart, right? Because if we are going to get the pullback, meaning that it's gonna be some kind of the tiny failure around the top of the channel, right? This possible bear flag. So what I wanna see, if that's the intraday stop hunt, I wanna see intraday stop hunt to the downside as well, right? And then some kind of the reversal. So trying to visualize this, either I wanna see lower shadow move back, right? Or simple engulf on a smaller time frame. So that's what I'm gonna to look for on euro dollar small time frame. And as usual, I'm not gonna chase the price here. In case of the things will speed up a bit, closer to New York Open, there might be some kind of the short meeting this afternoon. So if you subscribe, then you are gonna to be notified. For those who are not subscribed, please do that. Then you are not gonna miss next meeting. For sure, we are going to cover Bank of England tomorrow. So even there was no disappointment, market is slow for now. That's it from me this morning. No disappointments from the PMI services in Europe, especially with the Italian one shining the most. Watching yields and watching the market very, very carefully. Guys, it was my pleasure to be with you here this morning. See you around. Have a great rest of the London session. Goodbye.